Hello, my name is Fiorella Sares. My topic is Efficacy of tetravalent dengue vaccine in Latin America. Introduction. Vaccination is a simple, safe, and effective way to protect ourselves against harmful disease before coming into contact with them. Vaccines activate the body's natural defense so that they learn to resist specific infections and strengthen the immune system. After being vaccinated, our immune system produces antibodies, as occurs when we are exposed to a disease, with the difference that vaccines contain only dead or weakened microbes, such as viruses or bacteria, and do not cause disease or complication. Definition: Dengue is a viral disease transmitted to humans by the bite of mosquitoes, being the Aedes aegypti the most frequently involved in the transmission. There are 4 serotypes of dengue virus: dengue 1, 2, 3, and 4. The dengue disease presents with clinical presentation of very different severity, which can cause severe symptoms and even death. It can present asymptomatically a flu-like febrile fever or fever dengue hemorrhagic, with different severities.
The World Health Organization has set an aim to halve the number of dengue deaths by 2020. In the last 50 years, there's been a 30-fold increase in infections. A vaccine could help meet that goal, but the search has been painfully slow.
With any infectious diseases, we have a degree of protection afterwards, so we don't get disease again and we're protected. In dengue, after your first infection, which in many countries is as a child, you then get second infection a few years later, and that second infection is more severe. That's very unusual, and it's specific to dengue.
When you're infected with dengue, dengue 1, you make antibodies to that dengue 1 virus. Those antibodies can kill the dengue 1 virus. But if you're then infected with a dengue 2 or a dengue 3 or a dengue 4 virus, those antibodies sort of recognize that virus as part of the dengue family, but they can't kill the virus.
In any potential vaccine for dengue, the strains compete, with one tending to become dominant. So getting the balance right is extraordinarily hard.
A vaccine for dengue has been a very hard nut to crack, mostly because you need to make 4 vaccines, because there's 4 different types of dengue. You can't just make a vaccine for dengue 1, dengue 2, dengue 3, or dengue 4. It's got to be a 4-in-1 vaccine.
You have to develop basically a 4 combination vaccine from the start, because all 4 dengue viruses are responsible for dengue epidemics and even the severe form of the disease that could lead to hospitalization and to death.
To find a vaccine against one virus can take 10 years. We're trying to find a vaccine against 4 viruses, and then we're trying to have those 4 individual vaccines be put together into one vaccine and still work as well.
Symptoms: fever, muscle and joint pain, retrocular pain, headache, nausea and vomiting. Pros: the AIM vaccines consist of plasmid containing the specific generic sequence of dengue virus protein or epitopes. Same plasmid contains a primary sequence and termination that lead transcription to RNA in the vaccinated. The administration of the vaccine will be intramuscularly to be taken up by cells muscular and dendritic. Cons: as has been seen, few vaccines have had a development with such diverse innovative technologies, based mainly of recombinant technology such as the dengue vaccine, and despite this, none of them is still available for use. Application in medicine: dengue vaccine, the first and only vaccine approved for the prevention of dengue world level. It is a vaccine with an adequate safety profile. It's found approved for use in children over the age of 9 and adults up to the age of 45 years. In population with a high prevalence of previous immunity for some serotype viral, the vaccine was shown to be safe and effective in preventing the disease and its serious forms.
tous les efforts qui sont faits pour bien monitorer l'évolution de tous ces arboviroses dans le monde, pour mesurer l'impact de ces technologies vaccinales qui ont été mises au point pour ces arboviroses, va aider à la compréhension de la maladie pour Zika et également à la mise au point, on l'espère, d'une solution vaccinale.
Classic dengue, which does not usually present many complications since the body tends to recover completely with proper care. Hemorrhagic dengue. Severe dengue, formerly known as hemorrhagic dengue, the incubation period of which is between 5 and 8 days. It is a serious manifestation and can cause the death of the patient because it can appear tachycardia, pain in the bones, hemorrhages, altered blood pressure, circulatory failure, or dehydration.
Dengue virus is a mosquito-borne pathogen with 4 different serotypes. Dengue infects around 390 million people globally per year and can result in life-threatening conditions. There is currently no antiviral. The only available vaccine for dengue has low efficacy and presents high risk of hospitalization for those vaccinated, but without prior exposure to dengue. Clearly, we need a next-generation dengue vaccine with high efficacy that is also suitable for those traveling to dengue-endemic countries. The new vaccine must also provide immunity to all 4 serotypes in the simplest way possible. Proteins found on dengue particle surfaces are the main target of antibodies. Many of these antibodies recognize cryptic epitopes hidden beneath the surface of the virus. Any vaccine candidate must mimic the virus structure and expose these cryptic epitopes. A team of researchers from National Chung Husing University, Taiwan, has shown that the highly mature dengue virus serotype 2 virus-like particle MD2-VLP does just that. It mimics the dengue structure and exposes several important cryptic epitopes. MD2-VLP does not induce anti-PRM antibodies and requires just 1 serotype formula, avoiding the need to adjust doses for 4 serotypes. Mice vaccinated with MD2-VLP particles generated higher cross-reactive neutralization antibodies. They were protected against all 4 dengue serotypes. MD2-VLP is a strong vaccine candidate.
Prevention. From the WHO, they affirm that the only way to control or prevent the transmission of the dengue virus is to fight against vector mosquitoes. It is essential to maintain the ordering of the environment to prevent mosquitoes from finding place to lay their eggs, properly dispose of solid waste and possible artificial habitats. Clean and empty the containers in which water is stored for domestic use every week. In conclusion, the quadrivalent formulation is well tolerated and effective against symptomatic dengue in children, regardless of their serological status before immunization. The efficacy of the vaccine varied by serotype, warranting continuing monitoring to assess long-term performance.